Hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, I am going to discuss the Hindu analysis for 20th April. Actually, Govind sir is on leave, so I have decided to take this class. And this is actually a recorded video that we are providing because I have other paid classes also, so I could not take a live class. So please take it as a live class only. And whatever I'll be asking questions, please answer it in the live chat, believing that it is a live class, so that actually that will be a sort of a revision or a test for you. Okay, so let us begin with today's, that is 20th April. So today is Monday and we are having 20th April class. Now, so first of all, you should be knowing the first article was talking about talks today. Trump says as Iran keeps ship out of strait. So which state is being talked about? I'm sure you must be aware, although the headline has not mentioned, because headline is generally actually is supposed to be short, right? So that's why this is how it is written. It is actually talking about Strait of Hormuz, and for that actually you have to read here, Anna, inside the article. So we'll be talking about the Strait of Hormuz. We have seen some frictions also here. That is what you should be knowing. Another article is 23 killed in explosion at fireworks factory near Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. So that is also we will be discussing this unfortunate incident. So let us first discuss about Strait of Hormuz. I'm sure by this time you must be aware where is Strait of Hormuz. So this is Persian Gulf, or now it has been defined by Mr. Donald Trump as Arabian Gulf. Where is Iran? This is Saudi Arab. This is Qatar. This is United Arab Emirates. This is Oman. And this one is actually Strait of Hormuz, right? And we have discussed in the past also and time and again that why Strait of Hormuz is so important actually. So I'm sure you must be aware this region is famous for oil and natural gas. Okay. So any oil coming, let's say from Kuwait, and here is, let's say Bahrain is there. This is Bahrain. This is Qatar. Any oil coming from Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, it goes like this and it crosses Strait of Hormuz and then it goes to different parts of the world. Okay, so Strait of Hormuz from this point of view is also important. Plus, a lot of fertilizer also comes from this route. And I'm sure you must be aware, fertilizer is important for ensuring food security in any country. And that is why Strait of Hormuz has been very much in the news. So what happened was we had seen almost around 12 April, we had seen a ceasefire, a 10-day ceasefire, between Iran and America, and it is supposed to end around 22nd April. So the talks, and after the ceasefire, actually they went to Islamabad for a talk. So Vice President of USA and Iran's foreign minister was there. So even after 21 hours of meet, it actually failed. The talks failed. Now there is a proposal. Donald Trump is again saying that I'll be having another meet, etc. But before that, when the first talk actually failed, actually USA said that I will also block Strait of Hormuz. So let's say here Iran is blocking it. So America will also put its ship and block the Strait of Hormuz, because initially when Iran was saying I'm blocking Strait of Hormuz, Iran was allowing Chinese ships and ships with yuan currency, those who are paying in yuan currency, etc. So America said, okay, let's block this Strait of Hormuz also. Now recently we have seen this news. There have been frictions. So 1 or 2 days back we had seen Iran completely opening Strait of Hormuz for a few hours, but later on Iran actually stopped it, saying that America is still blocking our ships. So basically, America had said that any ship coming from Iranian port will be blocked by America here, somewhere here. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. So that's why Iran has decided to cancel the opening of Strait of Hormuz. So this was very much in the news in the last few days. Now there are articles talking about US President threatens to destroy civilian infrastructure if Tehran does not accept deal. Ceasefire set to expire soon, even as standoff continues. Okay, so US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that US negotiator would head to Pakistan. So he said that again there will be a meeting in Pakistan, talks with Iran, lifting hopes of extending a ceasefire set to expire by Wednesday. So on Wednesday, that is on 22nd April, the ceasefire, the 10-day ceasefire is actually expiring. So there has to be a renewed talks with regards to that. The prospects of talks which Iran did not immediately confirm came as ships remain unable to transit the Strait of Hormuz. So yes, we are seeing that still there is problem when it comes to the movement of ships in Strait of Hormuz region. That is what you should be knowing. The White House said US Vice President J.D. Vance would lead to the US team with envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Okay. So most likely, again, Vice President would go. These are the things that are in the news. Iranian official earlier on Sunday said that they remained open to negotiation, but held firm that ships would not pass the strait while the US blockade remained in effect. So Iran has said that unless until the America should open the Strait of Hormuz, we are not going to remove from here. We will not commit. So this is Strait of Hormuz. So Iran has blocked it, and at the same time, USA has also blocked it. And you should be knowing that it is between Iran and Oman. This is also very important. The Strait of Hormuz is between Iran and Oman, not Iran and UAE. This has to be very crystal clear. Okay. Mr. Trump accused Iran of violating the ceasefire by firing at ships and threatened to destroy civilian infrastructure in Iran if it does not take the deal that US is offering. Okay. And there was an article, India's crude oil import fell nearly 17% in March due to West Asia crisis. So you should be knowing what exactly is West Asia and all. So why I'm discussing, because we have seen this type of questions in the past in CLAT. So that's why we'll be talking about this. Okay, so this entire region. So let me make a rough sketch. This is actually called as Asia. Okay. So if I say what is Central Asia, so this region, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, these are called as Central Asia. Okay. This region, Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Iran. This is actually called as West Asia. And we are actually Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Maldives. We are actually in South Asia. That's why we have formed a grouping called as South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Similarly, this region, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, this is actually called as Southeast Asia. And the grouping is called as ASEAN, Association for Southeast Asian Nation. Okay. Now, so why I'm discussing about it, we have seen questions with regards to that. So that's why you should know Central Asia. We have seen question on SARC, and I remember Maldives is here, which is a part of SARC, etc. So we are talking about West Asia crisis, right? So this region is called as West Asia, this entire region. Okay. Or what we call it as, this region is called as Gulf countries. And sometimes West Asia is also called as Middle East. Why I'm saying, because when you read newspaper, you will come across these things. So you should be knowing about that. So these include Kuwait, Iran, this is Qatar, this is Bahrain, this is UAE, etc. Right? Countries which are touching Persian Gulf. So that is what it was in the news, that because of West Asia crisis or Gulf War, we have seen crude oil import declining by 17% because again the reason is Strait of Hormuz blockade, etc. and all. We had issues moving ships. We had to negotiate again and again with Iran. Now, so it is important. I'm sure you must be aware. Strait of Hormuz is important because 80% of its crude oil, 88 to 85% of LPG imports comes from Middle East, and that is why when there were some issues with regards to that, we had seen LPG issues in our own country. We had some crisis at some places. So that is what it was in the news. Now, अब ये हुआ कि recently क्या हुआ कि we have seen some incidents of firing that were happening, or I would say it was said that Indian ships were said to go back, turn around immediately. So basically, Bhagya Lakshmi, an Indian flag tanker, turned in the Strait of Hormuz after it was denied passage. So वही ये था कि 1 or 2 days back, Strait of Hormuz was opened, but again it has been closed back, है ना? So there were reports. So India said you gave us clearance, distressing audio from Indian ships during Hormuz firing. So that was in the news. So 2 Indian flag tankers turned back from Strait of Hormuz after being fired upon by Iranian gunboats, as the waterway that carries 1/5 of the world's oil 1/5 means Strait of Hormuz is famous for carrying almost 20% of the world's oil. But for us, it is more than 40-50%, even 70 to 80%. Because we all buy from here. For us, this is the best source of oil and natural gas. For us, for India. So that is what is being talked about. Aimed at a center of confusion in the Middle East of war between US, Iran, and Israel. No injuries were reported, and vessels were not damaged in the firing. It means, I'm just guessing it, perhaps it was air firing. Shayad Hawaii firing wala kiya ho gaya on the because it was not attacked. Like vessel was not attacked, and perhaps it might be a sort of an air firing or something like that, just to threaten or just to convey some message. A distress message from one of the tanker was now emerged, capturing the confusion that ensued during the firing. तो हो सकता है कुछ confusion हो गया, समझ में नहीं आया. God knows better what was the thing. So after that, India calls in Iranian envoy conveys deep concern after 2 oil tankers prevented from crossing Strait of Hormuz. So Ministry of External Affairs ने ambassador है ना being called in, not summoned. देखो उनको summon नहीं कहा. The initially reports were coming in that Iranian ambassador to India was summoned. इन्हें बुलाया गया. But that was not the case. उनको सम्मन नहीं किया गया. It was called in, मतलब फोन करके कहा गया होगा, बातचीत किया गया होगा, है ना. So Iranian ambassador, so Vikram Misri met Iranian ambassador to India Mohammad Fatali and conveyed India's deep concern after 2 India bound energy carrying vessels were prevented from transiting Strait of Hormuz. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. Okay, that is what you should know. ठीक है. So a day earlier है ना, ईरान की फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने कहा था कि we have completely opened Strait of Hormuz, but what happened was since Iran later on actually stopped or blocked the Strait of Hormuz, saying that America is still blocking the Strait of Hormuz. They are not allowing Iranian bound ships or ships which are coming from Iranian ports. That's why they had reversed the decision according to Iran. This is what Iran had said. So इसीलिए still there are issues, and we have seen some incidents. There are some reports saying that USA has seized Iranian ship or Iranian flagged ship. That is also coming in the news because a lot of ships of America is there in the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz closed again, Iran says, as ships attacked. So these are the reports that are coming in. So of course, Strait of Hormuz has become very sensitive region. This is a very small region, and it is very important because all the oil and natural gas goes from here. So we cannot find any alternate route. It's very difficult. So for us, for India also, this is very important that Strait of Hormuz should get open, and it is very important for India that the war should stop from our perspective also. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of problem when it comes to LPG and other crises. Next is 23 killed in explosion at fireworks factory near Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. Again, a very unfortunate incident that we have seen actually. So there is Virudhunagar. So there is one more place called as Sivakasi, very famous place in Tamil Nadu, famous for fireworks or cracker factory. Similarly, near to that, there is Virudhunagar also, almost 28 kilometers. And here also we have seen in firecracker factory, a fire in one of the deadliest accident, a firework factory in Tamil Nadu in recent years. 23 workers died. Actually, it caught fire, and unfortunately 23 workers died, which is a very unfortunate, sorry incident. So that is what you should be knowing. कहीं पे 21 लिखा है, कहीं पे 23 लिखा है ना. अच्छा, ये पुराना at least 21 people were killed in firecrackers manufacture in April to August 2025. ये last का previous year का. And here this actually happened recently. 23 workers died. So of course this is actually a serious issue. I think there are some safety issues when it comes to firecrackers factory. Firecracker नहीं, पटाखा की जो फैक्ट्री होती है. So of course they need extreme safety, है ना. आपको पता है, I'm sure you must be aware, every factory has safety officer, and its job is to ensure, है ना, that everything, all the rules with regards to safety is being followed. I'm not sure about whether it is being followed in firecracker factory or not, but in general, this is the rule. There are safety officers, they have to check it, and if anything goes wrong, of course they are held liable or responsible for that. Next is again unfortunate incident on the first page. 5 deaths and no arrest as Manipur sees fresh violence. So that is what you should be knowing. We have seen for the past 2-3 years, we have seen a conflict between Meiteis and Kuki-Zo community in Manipur. And unfortunately, again, we have seen the rise in crime, the rise in violence, And these are the news that are coming in. So that is what you should know. So 5 deaths and no arrests as Manipur sees fresh violence. Manipur has witnessed 5 killings, etc. That's why it was in the news. The siblings whose father is a BSF Jawan were sleeping when a bomb alleged launched from a distance of 100 meters. So these were the reports that were coming in. So last year, actually, Mr. N. Biren Singh was the chief minister of Manipur. He had resigned. So there I had taken a class where I have discussed in actually detail about the conflicts in Manipur. Or I would say the entire detail of conflicts I have discussed in this class. You search it, you can watch it. And since then, for the past 1 year, there were president rule. Okay, so now we'll be having a new chief minister in February. Yumnam Khemcham Singh has been appointed as new chief minister of Manipur in the month of February. Okay, and the governor is Mr. Ajay Kumar Bhalla. He has earlier served as Union Home Secretary. That is what you should be knowing. Let's talk about editorial. Delimitation, a case of to be or not to be. So there's an article written by former senior principal secretary of Election Commission of India, and he's talking about 131st Amendment Bill and Delimitation Bill, which actually was not passed in the Parliament. So I'm sure you must be aware. A constitutional amendment bill needs approval from 2/3 majority, na? Special majority, which means actually 2/3 of present and voting, and half of total. So of course the current government does not have 2/3 majority in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, so that's why they need support of opposition also, and the opposition did not support it, and that's why the bill fell. However, before that we had seen actually when this bill was there, when Women's Reservation Bill in 2023 was passed, it was almost unanimously supported. Except 1 or 2 members, all actually supported it. So that's why it was easily passed, and now we are having 106th Amendment Act. This is an act. It has become an act, so it is 106th Amendment Act. So till now, 106 times the Constitution has been amended. ये पूछा हुआ elect में सब question पूछते हैं कि till now how many amendments have been done, and it was done in September 2023, and it seeks to provide 33% reservation for women in Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, and Delhi Legislative Assembly. Okay. Now this has already been passed. Then why we are talking about right now Women's Reservation Bill? Okay. Women's Reservation Bill was already passed in 2023. However, this bill said that the 33% reservation will be implemented only after the first delimitation of the frozen the seats were frozen by 2026. So after this, actually this will be implemented. I'll tell you what exactly it is. First, just wait. So basically it said that after 2026, whatever the first census will be happening, and after that delimitation commission will be set up. Once this has been implemented, then this 33% reservation is being implemented. That is what 106th Amendment said. So Women's Reservation Bill was already passed. Now what exactly it is, let me first explain. देखो हुआ क्या था. First you have to understand like this. Let me show the map. There is the flag. देखो, what happened was, there is a law, there is an article 81, which says, there is article 81. Article 81 says that the seats in the House of People, that is Lok Sabha, should be proportion to the population with respect to the states and with respect to the territory. For example, let's say, I'll explain what exactly it means. Means allocation of Lok Sabha seats should be proportional to the population of the states. Okay. So let's say, I'm just giving an example. So for example, if the population, let's say the northern Indian states, UP, Bihar, they did not control population effectively. So family planning was not that successful. I'm talking about 1970s. Okay. Whereas in South India, they controlled population effectively. But Article 81 says that Lok Sabha seats given to the states should be proportional to the population. So from this logic, if you are actually controlling population, you will be penalized with less Lok Sabha seats in future and more percentage-wise more Lok Sabha seats in Bihar, UP region. So in 1970s, the southern Indian states protested that since we are actually controlling population, we are being penalized. So Indira Gandhi government realized it and they passed 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. This is very important. And under this, they said, okay, we are believing that this 1971 census will be taken into account while allocating Lok Sabha seats to different states, and this will continue till year 2000. Okay. Later on, this was further extended till 2020. Next census till 2026. That is what it was written. Next census till 2026. That is what it was written. Okay, let me show here because that is important. That's why we are talking about this, and I'm sure. Just hold on. So basically, so if you see, it says, that 42nd Amendment unfrozen the seat. From 1971, it said that till 2000 the seats are frozen. So for example, Bihar was given Lok Sabha seats of 40. Since 1971, it is the same. Otherwise, it should have been increased because we have seen in not very successful implementation of family planning, right? So then 84th Constitutional Amendment in 2001 extended this freeze until publication of first census of 2026. So they said this 2000, the freezing of seats were done till year 2000. This was then further extended till 2026. Just hold on for a second. Okay. Then what happens is now 2026 is done. Okay. So after 2026, the southern states are still demanding that those seats should be frozen. Okay. But right now, the 131st Amendment bill that has been initiated, it does not talk about such thing. Okay. Then the next thing it says is, we have told you that the 106th Amendment, which talked about implementing 33% women's reservation, will come after 2026, whatever the census will come, and then after Delimitation Commission will be set up. So after 2026 census will be 2027 census. Okay? And once the 2027 census comes, you have to do a Delimitation Commission. That Delimitation Commission will change the boundaries of the province, of the state, of the I would say constituencies, and then the 33% women's reservation will be implemented. That was the idea. But now this amendment says, okay, we are going to implement from 2011 census only, so that there was no change with regards to. So when it comes to women's reservation bill, it was already passed in 2023. The only change was they will be implementing right now, but with increased Lok Sabha seats. So 131st Amendment bill said we are going to increase the Lok Sabha seats. Earlier maximum strength was supposed to be 550, although practically it was 545, but maximum strength 550, 530 from states and 20 from union territory. But this got increased. This bill, 131st Amendment bill, said we are increasing it to 850. 815 for states and 35 for union territories, and then we will give the reservation right now. So 550, we are increasing it to 850, and on this we are going to give 33% reservation right now, based on 2011 census or the previous old census, because 2027 census is yet to come. Okay. And without freezing the concept of this, what we have discussed, population proportional to. So the southern Indian state said that then from this logic, from under Article 81, we will suffer because when the Delimitation Commission will be set up and it will not freeze the census as it was done in 1971, then perhaps it will be using 2011 census, and from this logic, the southern Indian states will suffer. That is what that's why Tamil Nadu and other governments were protesting. You are increasing the seats from 550 maximum to 850 and giving 33% reservation. Fine, but the problem is not women's reservation bill. The problem is when you are increasing it and you are not freezing the census, or you are actually not taking into account 1971 census, you are updating it to 2011 census. then from this logic, the population control has been more effective in southern states. So from 1971 to 2011, if we compare, then southern states have controlled population more effectively. That was the logic given by southern states. And they said we will lose here. And this implies 2011 census will be used for the next delimitation. Okay. So that is what they actually talked about. Okay, I hope it is clear because this is very important. The allocation of seats in Lok Sabha should be proportional to the population of the states. So from this logic, if 1971 census was not freeze, now we are implementing, let's say from 2011 census, then what will happen? The Tamil Nadu will have lesser seats, proportionally lesser seats they will get. Even though the total seats are increasing, but proportionally, percentage-wise, they will get lesser seats. And maybe Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and those states will have more population and they'll be getting percentage-wise more seats. That's why the oppositions were actually protesting. And Article 82 and 170 talks about Delimitation Commission. And I'm sure you must be aware, Delimitation Commission comprising of a former Supreme Court judge, a chief election commissioner, and the state election commissioner of that state. So the idea what the Delimitation Commission does, they change the boundaries accordingly of the constituency from the updated census. So the updated census right now is 2011. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. And 2026 census is happening, but its report will come in 2027. Okay. So that is why it was very much in the news, and this is what we have discussed in detail because I believe it is important. So मैंने इसको आपको detail में बता दिया. Next is we're talking about deceptively benign. India must move from fossil fuel to avoid amplifying imported inflation. Yes, imported inflation means what? We are importing inflation from somewhere. Where? The crisis is there in West Asia, and that's why we have to pay more when it comes to importing. So that's why imported inflation is being talked about. Wholesale price index and consumer price index, these are two types of index to measure inflation in India, right? And we have updated the base year also, I'm sure you must be aware, to 2024. So CPI, we have updated the base year to 2024, but wholesale price index continues to use the old base year of 2011-12. Okay. We have taken a class few days back with regards to update of base year. Okay. And then yes, they are talking about 4 to 6% of tolerance band. Actually, it is 2 to 6%. RBI's target of inflation is 4 plus minus 2%, which is actually 2 to 6%. So if the inflation is in this range, it is considered as good, 2 to 6%. Otherwise, it is not considered as very good. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. So US-Israel war on Iran has disrupted the supply chain and depreciation of rupee. Of course, if the rupee is depreciated, we have to pay more. A weak rupee is there. If the rupee is weak, imports will become costly. Generally, weak rupee is not considered as good for India overall. So we have to import oil and natural gas, even fertilizer again from the same route of Strait of Hormuz, plastics, petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, textiles, etc. Okay. IMF comes up with World Economic Outlook report. This has to be very crystal clear. You should be knowing what is World Economic Outlook report. Okay. Flags rising global recession. So they are saying maybe there will be a global recession if things are not improved soon. That is what is being talked about. Now, another article about Hungary. So Hungary's vote defeat. So Kavita Krishnan, she has written an article. Let's talk about what exactly it is. Viktor Orban. He has been there as a prime minister for 16 years. He was far right, Viktor Orban, for almost 16 years, since May 2010. And it is said, actually, there are a lot of criticism against him. He was far right. And there were criticism with regards to, like, he was controlling media and he was very strict. He was manipulating elections, etc. These were the allegations. God knows better. But these were the allegations, and he's from Hungary. So it is Hungary. If you have read about World War I history, I'm sure you must have heard the concept of Austro-Hungary War. Austria-Hungary, as one side, as one of the belligerents in the World War. So he's talking about this. Okay. So and recently he lost the election, which was very surprising for many people, that how he actually won the election. He lost the election. So the new one is Peter Magyar, is the new from Tisza party. Here with the new prime minister of Hungary. The person who lost is this person. So that's why it was in the news. So the author is talking about this. So these are the things being talked about, है ना? The same article is talking about this. We are not going very much in detail, but you should have a basic idea of recently shift in the elections or the defeat of the very old person, a very old, powerful person. For the past 16 years, he was having power in Hungary. Let's talk about it. Side make article. The government must not view labor unrest as law and order problem. We have seen actually in Noida, we have seen some issues where actually the factory workers were protesting because to increase their salaries. And they were saying that the LPG supplies are increasing. Trade unions have demanded 18 to 25,000 per month. Which the Uttar Pradesh government interim hike of around 21%. They gave hike, but I think that they are still protesting that they should get at least 18 to 25,000 per month. So these were some of the demands with respect to the increase in salaries of the laborers and migrant workers. Okay, so इसे पुरानी एक न्यूज सैमसंग वर्कर्स की एक न्यूज बता रहे, they're talking about the same similar thing happened in Tamil Nadu, etc. and all. है ना? तो इस पर एडिटोरियल आप चाहो तो पढ़ सकते हो. Why factories, Noida factory unrest is not more than is about more than just wages. That is what you should be knowing. ठीक, on delimitation, parliamentary seats, text and context, we have already taken a class, है ना? We have already explained in the same class. तो इसको आप देख लीजिएगा, है ना? Article 850, they were wanted to increase the maximum seats in Lok Sabha from 550 to 850. But this was defeated. We have seen 4 times delimitation commission set up, 1951, 61, 71, है ना? And I think 2001. Fourth one, है ना? 4 times delimitation commission has been set up at all India level. Take 16th amendment already passed. Women's reservation bill has already been passed in 2023. They just wanted to implement from this 2011 census, as per the latest census, instead of waiting for 2027 census. And why people oppose? Because the increase, there have been attempt to increase the seats also of Lok Sabha without freezing the census. And we have discussed about what is freezing the census and all. I think that is more than enough. फिर एक और article, student kin of diplomats. Kin of diplomats means foreign officers. And a kin means relative. Return to India from Iran. That is what you should be knowing. Because we have seen a crisis and all. Government likely to name Dinesh Trivedi as envoy to Bangladesh. So Indian ambassador to Bangladesh will be not a IFS officer, but a politician, Mr. Dinesh Trivedi. He has earlier served as railway minister. Right now he's in BJP. Earlier, he had served in Trinamool Congress. He was, I think, somewhere around 2010 or 11, somewhere. Please check it. He was the railway minister of India also, when Mr. Manmohan Singh was there. So UPA 2 mein, he had served as railway minister also. At that time, he was actually from Mamata Banerjee's party of TMC, Trinamool Congress. So now he'll be, most likely, he will be Indian envoy, matlab ambassador. Indian ambassador to Bangladesh. Because I'm sure you must be aware, we have seen a new government here. The new prime minister is Mr. Tariq Rahman. And he's from Bangladesh National Party. And there was a party called as Awami League, which was considered as more pro-India. But they were not allowed to fight election. And their leader, actually, Sheikh Hasina, is in India, in exile. So that's why we are having a new prime minister. So we need to engage with Bangladesh also. So that's what you should be knowing. Then there was an article on World Page. Vice President Radhakrishnan calls on Sri Lankan president. So he met there and he went to the India's president. Calls on matlab jaake milna. So Vice President Mr. CP Radhakrishnan, he went to Sri Lanka in Colombo and met the Sri Lankan president. Okay. Anurag Kumar Dasanaik. Energy sector cooperation and many other things were discussed. Okay. So काफी सारी discussions हुई, health, tourism, investment, trade, etc. ठीक है. एक और आर्टिकल थी वर्ल्ड पेज में, रशिया हिट्स किल एटलीस्ट 2% as Ukraine strikes. Russian hits kill at least 2% as Ukraine strikes Russian drone factory. तो ये सब न्यूज में था. And this is with regards to Russia-Ukraine war. We have taken already a class on Russia-Ukraine war. Please watch this. ठीक है. इसको सर्च करना. And you will get this. You will get an idea about what was the reason behind Russia-Ukraine war. We have taken a class in 2021. We have seen questions also on Russia-Ukraine war. So again, it is in the news. They can ask questions with regards to that. ठीक है, तो इसको आप देख लीजिएगा. ठीक है. So we are stopping this class here. Please subscribe to our channel. Press the like button. Share this video. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.